Hi, my name is Ridham and this is my video diary for my field placement. Let's see how it was working for the media services at Conestoga College. Media Services is a branch of the Online Learning Center at Conestoga College. We aid the college and its numerous departments in everything creative. Media Service produces promotional content, interviews, podcasts, documentaries, animations, and graphics. So let's take a look at what I did. For my field placement, I was the assistant videographer and editor. So when I was not making coffee for my boss, here's what I did. On set, I assisted my cinematographer with lighting and camera work. So everything from basics such as formatting the cards, setting up the correct resolution, making sure all the batteries are charged and setting up all the ISO to the correct levels, and all the way up to handling cameras during interviews and podcast shoots, I did all of it. The camera I used for most of my field placement was the Sony FX3. I was responsible for capturing B-rolls, I was responsible for filming interviews, filming podcasts and all of that. On sets where I assisted with lighting, we used the aperture lights, so all the way from 120D, 300D, 600C, all the way up to 1200D. I particularly loved using the accent lights, which were the Aperture MC and the MC Pros, and the Amaron tube lights. There's just so much what you can do with these accent lights. As you can see, I use them for this setup as well. The possibilities are endless and they can make any scene truly interesting. I had a lot to do over these 2 months because these 2 months were one of the busiest months around the office in a long time, as there were multiple shoots back to back. So one project was the Let's Talk Careers podcast. It was a 2-person video podcast which was in our studio. My role for this was to assist with set design, handle the close-up camera, and caption edited episodes before they're published. So all the things from setting up the lights, getting the props, making sure the frame looks like every other episode, and to set up the cameras, that was my job. Another fun project was the Student Success Promo. This was a challenging one. My role for this was B-roll videographer and editor. So I, along with my colleague Ilya, went to various campuses to film our B-roll for the video. We were on our own, so we really couldn't screw up. But it was the editing that was tricky. The video was a total of 5 minutes with 5 different speakers and a lot of B-roll. The challenge was to gather the best takes from all the speakers and clean up their audio, as it was shot in a college hallway with a lot of background noise. So I had to organize the footage in bins and color code each speaker to organize the timeline, and that really taught me a lot in terms of editing workflow, and I think it was a fun challenge to take on. But the most fun project by far was the Conestoga effect. For this shoot, we used our higher end FX9 camera with an anamorphic adapter, a cinema lens, and a slider. It was really fun to see how an anamorphic image works, since it was my first time ever using an anamorphic adapter. I really enjoyed this, as every set was unique in its own way, and we spent a long time lighting it, and this gave every set its own unique identity on camera. I truly learned a great deal from this placement. I learned from all my colleagues, my producers, the cinematographer, and everyone else on the team. To list a few, I learned how to correctly use diffusion and what are the use cases in which what type of cloth and diffusion should be used. I learned about using an anamorphic lens and how to edit anamorphic footage in post. I learned how to use overhead lighting, how to use 3-point lighting, how to correctly light the background, how to use accent lights in a scene. And I also learned how to change the wallpaper on our studio computer. To end, I just want to say that it was a great learning opportunity to work at Media Services, and I'm truly thankful and grateful for this opportunity. The team is very supportive and welcoming, and we use some of the best equipment, so it's a great learning opportunity. Now you know how much I loved being here. Let's see what they think.
Who's Ridham?
Who's Ridham?
Hated every second of it. He came in and he just ruined everything.
Ridham has been a great part of the team. His energy is infectious and he's always willing to share and contribute his ideas. We'll definitely miss him.
Ridham is the best because he can handle me, and that's a skill.
Absolutely love having Ridham on the team. He's an absolute bright ray of sunshine and wish we could keep him forever.
Having Ridham on the team was a great experience. He came in and he was willing to learn, and throughout the last almost year, he has not only been an asset on the team, but he's been able to complement every production that he's worked on. And I thoroughly enjoyed working with Ridham.
Really enjoyed having Ridham. It was really nice to be able to throw things at him and say, hey, this is kind of what I'm looking for, here's my concept. And then for him to take all those ideas and kind of put them together and then come back and say, this is what I think you said. Because I know a lot of the times I'm not great with what it is that I envision, but he did a really good job of taking all of these random things that I threw at him and bringing it to life.
Thank you, Ridham, for your smiles.